Hi, my name is Isabella Berkheimer, and today we're going to talk a little bit about journalistic ethics. Journalistic ethics is what makes sure that the media we're consuming and the media that is broadcasted and written every single day based on the stories that are going on around the world is truthful. Nobody wants to consume media that isn't truth. Although magazine covers may seem enticing and there are stories about love interests and things going on in Hollywood that may excite people, journalistic ethics are still there for those who are discussing very truthful and very serious world topics. When Williams went on to talk about a story that he had personally witnessed with the military in Iraq, he had told the story on multiple occasions. The first occasion, he discussed about how the helicopter in front of him got hit by an RPG, and how they were in a windstorm, a dust storm in the middle of Iraq. All very, very terrifying. And a few years later, he went on to talk about the situation a little bit differently. And as years went on, it seemed as though every single time he talked about this story, it got a little more and a little more fabricated. He directly put himself in the helicopter that got hit, even though on the day that this all happened, he was not. He is a prime example of how journalistic ethics, if they are mistreated, abused, or forgotten, can lead to someone's fall from grace. Williams was once a very, very serious anchor, one that many people looked forward to watching every single day. But after he had made a few statements that were very far from true, that were very incorrect, he got the boot. If I were to be the NBC's public relations director, I would have fired him the first time he had spoken out and spoken a mistruth. I would have fired him the first time that he discussed the story a little bit differently than the time he did as soon as it all happened. I would have noticed right away that he was not the one that should be telling the stories and relaying the very serious news that is going on around the world to millions of people. Those who are consuming media deserve the truth, they deserve factual evidence, and this is where journalistic ethics come in. Journalistic ethics are what makes sure that those who are speaking about the news and writing the news are kept in line. They are those who make sure that the news that we are consuming is truthful and making our life decisions based on evidence that they have gathered. We are learning about horrific events. We are learning about life-changing historical movements, and we are learning about them from those who are writing from their own perspective. Now, bias and commentary, they're all welcomed, but when it comes to a story that hits that close to home, that is military related, it needs to come with evidence and it needs to be factual. They cannot be putting themselves in the middle of a situation that they were not in. Although he was in the situation, he was not in that helicopter that got hit. And I think to many military pros and many people that are in the military, it kind of left a sour taste in their mouth when they noticed that he directly put himself in a position that he was not in. It kind of treads on the stolen valor situation, a situation where somebody is taking the honor that they did not gain or the honor that they did not have. Although the network did comment on the situation quickly, as soon as they realized that the Stars and Stripes put out something that recanted his story, I think the way that they handled the situation should not have been as lackadaisical in the moment. They should have taken journalistic ethics more seriously. It shows their representation as a whole. It shows their reputation. It makes individuals look at their whole company differently. Nobody likes to consume media that isn't true, and nobody likes to go on and think that something that they learned about or something that they connected with or related to was misspoken or was fabricated. And this is why it is very important that we pay attention to journalistic ethics. William's fall from grace was unfortunately well-deserved, but he is also a prime example of how individuals who are learning about the media and those who are consuming the media can also ensure that those who are writing the media are held accountable. I hope that this situation is something that I can continue to learn from, and something that if I decide to write about media and I decide to do journalism, that I will ensure that I remember that it instills journalistic ethics in all those who consume media as well as those who write about media. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you for joining me, and I hope that this engages your thought process on journalistic ethics.